This is a dual fuel Champion generator. It's an inverter suitcase type, runs very quietly. It's 2,500 watts. So dual fuel means it can run on gasoline or propane. But you can run a propane tank similar to, well, like that. Yeah, through a hose and a regulator. It plugs right into here. But when I'm running it on propane, it's hard to start. Really do it. No, it just rips the rope right out of your hand. It needs a valve adjustment. There's a couple reasons why you need a valve adjustment. First of all, you should just do it as normal maintenance because it's in the instructions in your manual that I think every 100 hours or something you have to do a valve adjustment. If it's hard to pull, it can be a valve adjustment issue. It's out of tolerance. It should be about 4 thousandths. On the other hand, if you're having a problem with it dying after it heats up, that could be a valve adjustment issue. I don't have that problem. That doesn't mean I don't have a valve adjustment issue. Either the tolerance is too tight or it's too loose. So we're going to open this up and we're going to see, it's a simple job, and we're going to see if we need to do a tolerance adjustment or a valve adjustment. The reason this is the valve cover right here. So we're going to take the valve cover off. I'm going to try to keep from having to disassemble everything. I will take the spark plug out, I think. Spark plug wire, I should say. And that's the other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to adjust or gap the spark plug just to make sure it's the right gap. 4 bolts will remove the valve cover. Almost all maintenance requires that you remove the suitcase, which is an hour-long process. So a lot of mechanics won't even work on these. Okay, so the seal is perfectly fine. I did not hurt it at all. So I'm just going to lay that over to the side. I'm then going to remove the hose. These are the valves. Right there, there's the loose one, there's the tight one. What you want to do is get your one of the valves, either one, all the way up until it's loose like that, and the other one all the way down until it's tight. The problem with this is the only way to do that, the only way to turn the engine is with the rope. So you have to do it real slow with the rope. I'm going to remove the spark plug so I'm not putting any undue stress on that rope. These generators come with a special tool for the spark plug. Basically kind of handy. So what happens now, I'm taking the spark plug out, is there will be no compression pressure. Okay, I'm going to adjust this one now. So I need 4 thousandths and 7 thousandths. So that means 4 thousandths has to go in and 7 thousandths should not go in on the feeler gauges. Okay, so 4 thousandths goes in very easily. We're going to go to 7 thousandths now. It should not go in, but it does. So I need to tighten that one. There is a locking nut or locking screw. We'll get the nut and loosen it. There we go. There, it loosened. I wasn't sure, so I was trying to not torque it too hard. So the nut is the lock. So we're going to screw. We're going to screw in the screw there, just a little. We'll get our 7 thousandths feeler gauge. Remember, we don't want that to go in. It still does. Still does. Okay, so now it does not. The 7 does not go in, and the 4 does. So that's perfect. So now we're going to tighten the nut back up. I'm going to slide that 4 in there again just to make sure it's okay. And the 7 should not go. And it doesn't. So it was pretty loose. Wow. Okay, so now we need to get the other one up and this one down. So we're going to put the 4 in there. The 4 goes. And so does the 7. So we're going to put the 7 in, should not go. So the 7 does not go. Now we're going to try the 4. Okay, so the 4 went. That's good. Check the 7 one more time. Yeah, the 7 does not go. Great. So we'll tighten it up. Check it again. Got it. Perfect. Okay, so now we'll put the cap back on. Okay, so we're going to tighten them into a star pattern, so just basically a crisscross pattern. So now we're going to gap the spark plug. I'm going to do that at 30 thousandths and 35 thousandths. Okay, so 35 should not go in. It does not. 30 should. It does not. Kind of does. Yeah, it went in. And for 35 does not. And then we'll tighten it up with the special wrench. Put the spark plug wire back on, just so you know what it looks like down in there. And you got the spark plug wire. Alright, so we'll put the covers back on. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to start it. I'm going to run my angle grinder on it. I'm going to wait until it heats up. That way I can see if it's going to shut off when it gets hot. I'm also going to determine while I'm starting it, is it hard to start? Now, I don't expect it to be hard to start this first time because I took the spark plug out and I released the compression. So I'll let it run with the angle grinder. I'll heat it up and then I'm going to shut it off. And then in the morning we'll finish this video by starting it again and determining if it is hard to start. I know for a fact on 2 generators now that it will run just fine with the covers off and the valves misadjusted. But as soon as you put the cover on, it stops running. Okay, so we're going to plug the propane into the generator. Pretty simple to do. This is the hose that comes with the generator. And you just screw it onto the propane tank. This just plugs right into the generator. And then we're going to put it on choke. I don't think you actually have to put it on choke when you're running on propane, but the instruction says you do, so I just do it. Turn the propane tank on, and now we're supposed to pull it 5 times with the choke on. I can already tell it's easier to pull. It's been running for 10 or 15 minutes and it didn't even hiccup. Now, I know I said that it felt like it was easier to pull. After I said it probably would be easier to pull once the spark plug was removed. But I pulled it 5 times. And it started to start on the 3rd pull when it was on choke. That means there is now propane in it. Any other time that had happened, the 4th or 5th pull would always be a little bit more difficult. This time it wasn't. In the morning, I'm going to get up and I'm going to try to start it again and see if it starts easily. Okay, so it is the next morning. So now I'm going to try to restart it and see if it's easy to pull. We're going to pull it 5 times. It has never done it like that before. That was the 2nd pull on choke, and it started after it had completely cooled down. This is fantastic. So if you'll click this up next box, it'll take you to something I was working on. Thanks for watching.